Like a vampire, I don't need to know you. Come with me, I'll show you. You can find me backstage, I'm a party with a Nicolas Cage. Girl, I want the body, you know you got a body like Nicolas Cage. You ain't gotta be scared, you ain't gotta be afraid, baby. It's just you and me alone tonight with Nicolas Cage.
And welcome back to Late Night Cage Fight. We're here with another exciting episode talking about America's finest, Nicolas Cage and his missing pig. Check out our website at nickcagefight.com and be sure to listen to our most recent episode where we had Kiss of Death fight The Rock. This is going to be a discussion of the latest Nick Cage release, Pig. It will be spoiler-free up to a point, and I will announce when we are talking about spoilers. So I'm here with Cage Fighter Sean and Cage Fighter Steve. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hi there.
Hello.
Yeah, I am really pumped to talk about Pig with you two, and not just because I like farm animals. I got something from this movie I did not expect to get, and it was not an STD or a farm-related illness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or COVID.
Or COVID, thankfully. What is new with you fellas before we jump into the movie?
Well, I recently started moving to my new home, and I purchased a property in the city of Kabul.
Is it a farm?
Actually, it was a McDonald's franchise built in a duplex, but
So you're a homesteader getting settled in.
yeah, new management.
Excellente.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This episode is sponsored by McHappy's Donuts in Marietta, Ohio. Steve, what's new with you?
Not much. We're getting the kid ready for preschool starting next week. I didn't know McHappy's still did donuts. That's good.
They don't?
I just didn't know they were still there, I guess. I mean, I was a fan of brownies personally. I'm a brownies fan. I even bought this shirt. So
Brownies was really good. Do you feel like your time in Alabama has kind of given you deeper insight into the world of Pig? And I know that Pig is set in the Oregon wilderness and the Portland area, but there's still that kind of rural element to it.
yeah, there's the rural element and there's like the mountainous region. It felt good for me too, because I was actually in Alabama when I watched Pig, and it was it really just kind of made me feel engaged, I guess, in the movie. There's a better word for
engaged?
it. Yeah.
Engaged and
what's
encaged.
the word? No, yeah, encaged. Encaged even. Yeah.
That's really great. It's been a while since I've spoken with you guys, so it's so good to hear your voices, and it's amazing that we get to discuss a movie like this, and I'm not even being a cynical, ironic asshole about it. So that's a plus.
That's
just a little bit.
Well,
that's
there's
kind
always
of
that.
but that's nature,
hint.
though.
Well, Steve, do you want to do your thing and give us some Nick Cage news?
So the only news I have right now, I can't remember if we talked about this, if I've shared this with you guys yet or not, but we have some sad news today that
You lost your pig.
Close. I lost my Tiger King.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, Tiger King was canceled.
How could they do that?
I don't know. I'm actually really surprised. My guess is that once the pandemic ended, everybody just moved on and they were like, well, we should have done this faster, but Nick was busy with his pig.
You know, somewhere out there on the internet, maybe, there is an audition video of Nicolas Cage auditioning as the Tiger King.
That's true. There might even
Wouldn't that
be
be
like
amazing?
some trial like dress and makeup kind of things where he's got the full outfit.
Yeah.
Knowing Nick Cage, he actually probably bought it all himself and still has it at home.
Yeah, and he probably said,
I want my audition to be with the Tigers.
Yeah.
you know, in a real tiger ring.
Yeah. I would believe that.
Yeah.
If any of you internet cyber sleuths can uncover this lost footage and send it to us, we will give you a pack of free Late Night Cage Fight stickers.
And if that's not enough to motivate you, I don't know what is.
We will also officially make you Digimon Cyber Sleuth of the Year.
Yes.
It's an award that only we give out.
I actually really like that game.
I never played it, but I know it exists because I saw it. Yeah, stickers. Hey, guys, if you want your own stickers, just like they were saying, you can do all that, or you can just literally send us a message and say, hey, send me stickers. Here's a dot on Google Maps, and we will find a way to get those stickers to you.
Even if you're in the eye of Hurricane Henry right now.
Or the Eye of the Tiger. I'm sorry.
Too soon.
The other news really is the upcoming Prisoners of the Ghostland feature film. When is that even coming out? I've been ready for this forever. It looks like it's going to be released on demand September 17th.
Is that a live-action Call of Duty movie?
No, it's wild. It's a neo-noir Western action film directed by Sion Sono. And it's got a pretty rad-looking promo poster. It actually says, in quotes, the wildest movie I've ever made. And Nicolas Cage is quoted saying that, so...
Wait, Nick Cage made this movie?
He is the star, and they actually put his quote on the poster.
Damn. That's
but
pretty baller.
He's not the director. I mean, maybe he... No, he's just the actor.
Maybe he's literally meaning that he made this movie good. Before him, it was crap.
I mean, that's every movie.
So this is an upcoming movie? How have I not heard about this?
I don't know, but you're going to watch the trailer with all of us, and we're going to react to it.
Like, oh man, like that?
Just make it as over the top as possible.
Oh, okay. All right,
People
I can do
like
that. Yeah.
All right.
So
I sent you the link.
Oh, I'll see it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
My granddaughter has been
Sundance.
lost to us. I would have her return to me post-haste.
I thought that was the Colonel.
You, sir,
Oh, shit.
are the man to do the job.
This is like noir Asia Wild West.
Yeah.
That's like
Your arm
Bunraku.
is equipped with an explosive
Yeah.
device. Your trousers are also equipped with explosives.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Really?
Battle Royale on your
We
balls.
now stand.
It's a ball joke.
Where evil reigns.
What is this?
At the end of 5 days, if you have not returned with Bernice, well, I think you get the idea, son. Godspeed.
That's the guy from Wally's Wonderland, right?
This is the Ghostland.
Oh, okay.
No, he's from KFC.
We are not the ones who hold her captive. It's been 2 days, and still she is missing.
How do I get out of here?
You must surrender to fate.
This is Onimusha, or I'm sorry, this is frickin' Bunraku and
Burning Man.
They mentioned Battle Royale, so I'm already on board.
yeah.
No one escapes the Ghostland. No one!
This looks like pure insanity.
Yeah.
I wanna, yeah, all right, I'm in. Let's make this happen.
Wow. It's just like a return to form after Pig.
Yeah.
Seems like.
I'm all in on that one.
It looks intense, definitely. It's already premiered at some festivals, including Sundance, and it's gotten pretty good reviews, actually.
Okay.
Well, thank you for watching that with us, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was the correct trailer. We didn't pick another movie that confused you, because I know that happens sometimes.
That does happen sometimes.
All right. Well, we're going to jump into Pig now. We're going to talk about this awesome movie that really took me by surprise. I'll be honest. I think this is one of the greatest trolls of the year. When you look at the trailer, it's almost like the trailer is deceptive and it intentionally wants you to believe that this movie is going to be really bad. Am I wrong?
I don't know, honestly.
I thought that the trailer led you to believe that it was going to be more action-oriented than
Yeah,
it ended up being.
that's honestly, like, that's the first line of my review. I was like, I mean, I was promised Taken with pigs, and what I got was, I mean, I don't even know.
You know when they make like an anime about a specific topic and like everybody in the story is hyper focused on that particular thing, like you know that, like say that this is basically a live action Food Wars with truffle hunting.
I don't know. I'll be honest. Like, I don't know. There were just so many weird bits throughout the movie. I mean, a lot of
You're talking about
overuse.
Cage's performance?
Well, like, that was Cage's performance, which he like, a lot of times, sometimes it was just really, really over the top, and just felt awkward, and I didn't really understand what happened to his character, and it was never really explained other than just the general stress of the city kind of deal. There was no, like, traumatic experience or something, but he seemed to have a lot of, like, weird nervous twitches and things that he did. And then, from, like, a direction standpoint, there was just, like, there was a lot of overuse of, like, hand cameras and like, very stationary scenes. Where, like, normally you would do hand cameras in, like, chase scenes, but, like, everyone's standing still, but there's, like, these very, like, shaky hand camera movements that...
Okay, well, I thought the cinematography was actually really well done. I liked how the camera moves throughout. I thought it was very dynamic. I kind of get what you're saying, but before we dig too deeply, because we're going to hit spoilers if we do, let's just kind of mention, I mean, we already know what this movie's about, right, going into it. Nick Cage plays this truffle forager hermit who lives out in the wilderness of Oregon, and he's got this special pig who helps him find truffles. And the pig is stolen, and he goes on a mission, on an adventure of sorts, to retrieve his pig or find out what happened to his pig. That's really the plot.
Yeah, that's it.
But what I felt like was the genius of this film was, as the movie unfolds, each scene kind of gives you more and more clues to what's really going on and what's happened in the past, and why Nicolas Cage's character Robin Feld lives this way.
And I don't know, maybe you'll fill in some of the gaps that I didn't notice.
There were some excellent performances. Alex Wolff, we know him from Hereditary. We did a Cage list on Hereditary. Check it out. He's kind of like the co-star in this. He plays Amir, who is the young dude who buys the truffles off of Cage's character.
We got Adam Arkin as Darius.
Yeah, Adam Arkin. He plays this intimidating businessman, and he killed it. Now we can talk about the story, I guess, as we dive into it. Like I said, we'll mention spoilers when we get there, but without mentioning spoilers, what stood out to you? What scenes? What did you like, Steve? I actually thought that you would appreciate most the cooking aspect of it, Steve, because
yeah, I did.
You're kind of a chef yourself. You come from a family of cookers, chefs, cooking people, food preppers,
cannibals.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
did. I liked a lot of that, and I liked a lot of the imagery. I liked a lot of the cooking and the involvement of food, both in its natural, where does food come from, the whole like mission for the perfect meal thing, it's awesome. I liked seeing how they combined both where ingredients come from as well as like fine dining. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
In my opinion, as a movie altogether, I just don't know how well everything was drawn together to make sense. I mean,
So you're saying there's some flaws in the story itself.
I feel like it kept building these big climactic moments and then just ending with these seemingly senseless arguments, and then they would just wander into like the next phase of the story. And
okay.
I feel like it was recorded as two different movies altogether. I feel like it was recorded as an action movie, like from beginning to end, and then there was like this romantic storytelling movie, and then I feel like they tried to edit them both together into one movie, and then they sent the wrong reel to the final. Because I feel like all of the details got left out, but you still have like, you have these things, these lead ups to action moments, but then the action stops. And then you have these like lead ups to conversations, but like the conclusion never exists. So I just feel like all of the big points were all just pulled out and put into a different reel or something.
I see. But you felt really primed by the trailer for
Yeah.
lots of action.
Yeah, I really thought we were gonna get like a strong Cage action movie where he was, you know, I mean, especially coming off of jiu-jitsu, you know, I was just expecting that kind of character, you know, the old badass dude going in and he's like, I'm gonna find my pig, and if I don't, I'm gonna kill anybody that gets in my way. And we didn't get that.
I can definitely sympathize if, you know, you're going in to see a John Wick movie.
Yeah.
And this is what you get. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah. So I think that's really what it did for me, because there were like the scenes from the trailer that really felt like this anticipation of action, and then like you kept getting those builds throughout the movie where you're like, this is it. This is when he's gonna lose his shit. He's gonna destroy this dude, and then like nothing. And so for me, when everything was done, I mean, I gotta say, I don't know. It was, yeah.
It was like cold bacon for you.
Yeah, it was outside of my expectations.
I feel like the sole purpose of the Fight Club scene was just to check a box for action.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we should emphasize there is not a whole lot of action in this movie. There's some, but it's not really an action movie at all. It's more of a thriller.
Yeah.
And it is kind of a slow burn type of movie. But I feel like if you can become invested early, there are payoffs for you. But if you can't vibe with it, then you're probably going to be disappointed, because the way that this movie unfolds is not an in-your-face kind of film. It's it's very much subdued. Like you said, Steve, there's really no Cage outs. There's no moments of extreme. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. There is a lot of emotion, but for the most part, a lot of Cage's acting comes from his facial expressions, his reacting to the world around him as he tries to get to the bottom of this mystery. And it's
true.
It's unlike it's different from what we're used to.
Yeah, it's a very human movie. I mean, it really is. If you go into this expecting like the superhuman, like the typical Cage, the extremes, the Cage outs, you know, all the above and beyond. But this movie is very, very real, very down to earth, very human.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is probably one of Cage's best roles in quite a while, one of his best performances. But I do feel like the plot somewhat falls short. I felt like it was almost there, but I didn't really find the conclusion to have a whole lot of closure for his character. And to me, that kind of hurt the overall movie.
The flow of this movie reminded me of another movie that I really like called Burning. It's a South Korean psychological thriller. And again, it's another movie. I think Burning is much longer, actually, than Pig. there's not a whole lot of action. Again, it's very slow. But as you go, as the mystery unfolds, it gets deeper and you start to realize that there's a whole lot more going on behind the scenes in the backstory of the character, so to speak, that makes it that much more powerful once you put the pieces together. I think Pig is like that. Mm-hmm. And so if you're into these kinds of films, Pig is really for you. I strongly recommend it. Richard Roper, he gave the film 4 out of 4 stars. He says, quote, "The unpredictable Cage delivers some of his best work in years." I agree with that. This is a movie that I paid for, and I didn't regret paying for. I happily will go back and watch again. It strikes a certain mood with me, and yeah, totally dig it. It was directed by Michael Sarnoski and written by Michael Sarnoski. Story also written by Vanessa Block with Michael Sarnoski. And it's got a whole list of producers. Now, we're going to dig a little deeper, and we're going to discuss the spoilers in Pig. Okay?
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the producers came as consultants from the culinary world.
Oh, yeah.
That's
it seemed
possible.
like they really wanted to provide a level of authenticity.
When speaking of the culinary thing, Reese, I think you might have made note of this somewhere, but I really liked how they sectioned the movie off into like the big arcs, and then they gave them each a food dish, and that food dish was kind of also built into the story. It was whatever he was cooking during that part, which I thought was really cool too.
That was really cool. Part 1, for example, is rustic mushroom tarts.
Yeah. Which, the funny thing for me, my note on this was, because I thought it was interesting, this was a meal that he cooked, and this is where you say, getting involved in the movie early on, that this is a meal that he cooked for the pig, and then basically ate leftover pizza out of the fridge.
Yeah.
Well, he made like this this beautiful dish for his pig.
Yeah, he loves his pig, and as a chef, it's obvious he loves to cook. That's a passion for him more than consuming.
Well, I will say it's not obvious in the beginning.
Not in the beginning. You're right.
Yeah. In the beginning, it seemed a lot out of place that he cooks this nice meal for the pig and then just eats like random leftovers. And because I questioned it at first. Again, I mean, I try to walk into this as ignorant as possible and just give the movie all of its, any precursors I have go out the door, and I just try to focus on what I'm looking at.
What was he making there at the beginning? Was that a quiche? Or it was a rustic mushroom tart?
Yeah, it was a mushroom tart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I see. That looked really good.
Yeah, it really did. That's why I was so surprised when he just shovels it into a dish for the pig and then grabs some leftover pizza. I'm like, well, that's interesting.
Okay, so it's obvious to me that you guys have some qualms with some of the more fantastic elements of the plot, maybe. So now that we're discussing spoilers, you mentioned the Fight Club, Sean, and that part was, I felt like... Well, let me just tell you the exact moment where I knew this movie... Sorry, there's some kind of police...
Pig abduction.
Yeah.
Pig abduction going on.
Where's my pig? The moment for me where I knew this movie was not going to be what I expected and actually piqued my interest, the exact moment was when Robin, played by Nick Cage, was with Amir, and they went to that group of other truffle hunters, where they're going through the truffles. And Cage says to the lady that they stole his pig, and she just loses it. She's like, what the fuck?
She was ready to post up.
Yeah.
She's like, they don't, you fuck with one of us, you fuck with all of us.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, damn. Oh,
but this is where I go, I came into this expecting Taken, so I'm expecting her to walk over and grab a shotgun, not a piece of paper.
Yeah. But then you have a scene with the tweakers. It's this couple in the trailer who have the information on the pig, and that was just their very short scene was very well done. I thought it was very realistic in their response. Like, you could tell that the lady tweaker was very dismissive. She didn't want to give away too much information, but just enough to kind of get them moving to their next clue. But then, it ends up that Robin wants to go to Portland to find his pig, and he knows that it's in the city. This was basically Babe, Pig in the City with Nicolas Cage.
That was one thing that kind of got me a little bit. I was confused as to where they went, because he tells them, he's like, take me to the city, but it looks like they showed up at like this musical festival in the countryside. Maybe I just don't know Portland that well. Is it? Okay.
See, it's easy for me to just be like, hey, I've never been there, so this
I guess
must
it's
be
true.
how it is. But the thing that got me was just how serious the chef world, the restaurant world is. My God, they got that Fight Club underground.
So, well, the first dude he meets, right? He goes and meets up with like some dude that he used to know, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
He walks in and he's like...
Somebody that he used to know by Gaudier.
Yeah, and he like walks in, he's like, hey, I'm from the Club of Secret Rich Hobos. Here's a hobo lunch. Do you know where my pig is? And the other dude's like, you don't exist. You've been exiled from the club. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. And then he shows up anyway and gets his ass beat.
Yeah, so yeah, he shows up to this underground fight club thing, right? This fight club is, what is this? This is like this. Oh, it's this fight club where old dudes volunteer to get their shit slapped for 60 seconds, win a stack of cash. And that sounds like Drew Fluke's nightmare.
He had everybody bet on him or against him, I don't know, but he intentionally lost so that the dude would make all that money.
No,
and that was his way of bribe. No?
Each person, you go up there, you put your name on the board, and like people throw down money to basically beat the shit out of you for 60 seconds, and then you get whatever money, like you get a portion of whatever money they throw down. So like, however valuable your name is.
Didn't they show another match, though, and the guys were actually fighting each other?
No, they weren't fighting each other. It was the same thing. It was another old dude just before that was standing there getting his shit slapped.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. That's the first thing you see. Yeah, I often miss that. At the very beginning of a scene, I'll miss information sometimes because I'm analyzing so much.
Right.
Of the other stuff. But yeah, you're right. They did show that old dude. He was getting his ass beat.
Yeah, so like, that was the entire concept. It was just like... dudes that would go down and get their shit slapped and then win a stack of cash.
How? So the way you described this movie, I can't believe that you'd say you didn't really like it. It's amazing. It just sounds like something you would love.
Yeah, like the scenes individually are great. I love Cage's performance. I mean, even my note from the kidnap scene. Like, I thought the kidnap scene from like a direction and was kind of weak. Like, they came in, they took the pig, and then, like, there was, like, this 30-second of, like, Nick crawling across the floor, and, like, he tried. He really put everything into it. They're like, all right, we need you to, like, slow crawl from here to the other end of the room and look out the window. And, like, you can see him, like, you can almost taste it in his performance where he's like, really? Like, I just got off of one where I, like, climbed a mountain and, like, killed a six-headed lamb, and you want me to... struggle to climb 6 feet across the floor?
But his character has essentially given up on life and himself.
Unless his pig is involved, in which case, I don't know. Again, I guess I'm expecting Taken.
They did have his prize pig, so he should have broken out some kind of jujitsu shit or something.
I just feel like Nick had this almost like, just watching him act, I feel like he was ready to bust loose at any moment, but he was just never given the opportunity.
And that's what you wanted to see, right?
That's what I wanted. I was waiting for him to just be like the tough old badass Nick Cage.
All right.
I thought he was gonna post up with that dude in the Fight Club, but then he just took it.
Yeah.
And
I didn't understand.
There was a lot. There were a lot of surprises.
Yeah.
I thought my favorite scene was the one where he goes to the restaurant and was just talking to that other chef.
Yeah, that's an amazing scene. I love that one too.
Was that still in the first part, or no? That was the beginning of. So all of this is in chapter 1 so far. I think the chef thing was the beginning of chapter 2.
I think you're right.
believe so.
Yeah, because chapter 1 ended
I just know
at
they
the
got
Fight Club.
they got the name of the restaurant from the guy at the Fight Club.
Yeah.
Fenway.
Yes.
That was the name of the chef. I want to say Fenway.
Yeah.
And
so that was the beginning of chapter 2.
Yeah.
I also love how throughout this entire movie, Cage has a bloodied face and head from being beaten at the beginning of it.
Speaking of which, there's a bit of trivia on this movie. Did you know that Nick Cage did not bathe for the entire time they shot this movie just so he could stay true to his character?
That's amazing. I bet you his co-stars loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Better or worse co-star than Jared Leto?
I don't know. But we do know that Alex Wolff is a method actor. So
Yeah.
maybe Cage was like, if you're going to do the method acting thing, I'm going to go all out. I'm just not going to bathe the whole time we film this.
For Alex Wolff, when he did the movie My Friend Dahmer, he actually ate one of the techs on set.
That's a really interesting fact, Sean. I'm going to have to Politico that one.
Yep.
Wow. See, if you're going to play a cannibal, how do you really know how to play it if you don't eat people?
That's true.
Exactly.
Wow. Props to Alex Wolff for that, for going all cannibal. Great.
So, let's see. We're at the start of chapter 2, right? It takes which is called Mom's French Toast and Deconstructed Pancakes, which I believe also begins with I think it was the kid trying to make breakfast, right, Pedro?
Yeah. So that scene happens after the Fight Club.
Yeah.
That's where they reveal that they have to go. They look at the paper, and that's the restaurant they need to go to for the next clue. And that morning, over breakfast, Amir, Alex Wolff's character, reveals some of his backstory. We learn a little bit more about his relationship with his dad. We realize his dad is apparently a huge deal in the restaurant business, food business there in the local area.
Something, yeah. I honestly, I got a little confused at this point too. Honestly,
but then he also talks about this meal that his parents shared that they cherished, and that was kind of like a happy memory out of a whole stream of terrible memories he has of his parents. And his mom actually committed suicide. Yeah. And then you find out later that she's really in a coma, and it's implied that he's too ashamed or whatever to admit the truth. There's a lot of that in this movie where people are hiding something.
Yeah.
It's about having ghosts. It's about having something dragging you down, holding you back that you can't let go of. And it seems like each of the characters in the movie, especially the main characters, they're struggling with something. And for Robin, Nicolas Cage's character, it's the loss of his wife, Lori. And we don't know what happened to her. We don't know how she died or any of those circumstances. I think that bothers the hell out of Steve.
Yeah.
I get that. But part of the argument of the film is maybe it doesn't matter because the movie is saying you need to move on. That's the message of the movie.
Yeah.
Really.
Like I said, it's a very human movie. It's not what I was prepared for. I was prepared for something that was a little bit more surreal and detached, and it is a very real film.
Yeah.
So I think
you
that's
want
why
more of that psychological factor.
Yeah, well, or just more details, just more disconnection, I guess. Not like, I mean, you're right. This movie very much it's like a shoulder cam on a dude in an extreme situation. So it's very much real. You don't get to hear anything. You don't get to experience anything other than what's going on with him at this moment in time and what he is willing to share in that moment in time. And I think that's what bothers me is that I'm always more interested in like the backstory and the side story and what's going on and
Gotcha.
All the details, the flashbacks, the things you usually get in a movie. But this movie is so like fixated on what's really going on in the present and just being here in this moment. That I just
and then you gotta fill in the blanks for yourself.
Yeah, I think if I sat back down and watched this movie like and was like in the right mood and prepared for it and to accept it as it was, I think I would really, really enjoy it a whole lot more. I think, like I said, I came into it with preconceived notions, expecting this outlandish action movie, and what I got was something that was very real, and I wasn't really prepared for that.
Yeah. So even though it was very real, but there are some fantastic kind of elements. Like I felt like the Fight Club part of it, the whole just how seedy Portland's restaurant business seems. That seemed a little out there to me, but I was able to roll with it. What did you think, Sean?
I thought that it was good for what it is, but I think that some of the advertisement and the upfront scenes kind of make you think that it's going to be more action focused than it really ended up being. But I do think that it's a good dramatic look at the restaurant community, and just like a look at what you need to do to be part of this community and the toll that it can have on people.
It seems like a lot of these people who are well known, quote, within that community have sold their souls or are very fake.
Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage is able to recognize that. He sees how empty they are, and even though he's been outside of it for 10 plus years, he's still true to himself.
I honestly loved that.
Yeah, I really liked that scene where he's speaking with that other chef, and he,
Yeah.
he's basically saying wasn't Cage one of his teachers or whatever?
He worked for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He
That was it.
Cage fired Fenway.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Robin, Cage's character. But in this show, we don't separate Nicolas Cage from his roles.
Right.
Just to remind you all.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had fired him for some reason, and Fenway had expressed that his dream was always to open up a pub. Cage finds out so many years later in this scene that he's got this really classy restaurant gig that's making these... How would you describe these dishes?
Deconstructed
It's
pancakes.
gimmicks. It's gimmicks,
Yeah,
right?
it's all about deconstructed. It's gimmicky food. Yeah.
For rich people.
Yeah. Whatever's popular, whatever's the most money in your pocket or whatever.
Do you think this movie could have been part of the Soul Food series?
I really enjoyed watching Cage completely destroy Bernard from The Office.
That guy reminded you of Bernard?
Yeah, he really did. And then but like honestly, like the whole restaurant and everything was almost like this creepy Christian cult kind of feeling. All right.
Oh yeah.
And then he like calls the chef out, which is like essentially the cult leader, and he's like, "This is how we do things here," and he's like very matter of fact, and Cage's like, "This isn't who you are," and then just destroys every bit of him.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I hope my kids didn't get out.
So if I remember right, the Bernard, the chef guy.
The actor's name is David Nell. He
Yeah.
played Chef Fenway. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Awesome scene.
He's the one that gave up.
Amir's dad. Yeah, he
Amir.
gave his name.
Yeah.
Darius, and Darius is the kingpin of the of the Portland restaurant
Yeah.
conglomerate.
Yeah.
Another scene that stuck out to me, which was a very quiet kind of scene, it surprised me because it didn't end the way I expected it to, was there's a scene where Nick Cage's character Robin returns to the house where he used to live, and he goes in the backyard and he sits down next to this little boy who lives there now and has this conversation about the persimmon tree and all this stuff. And I totally thought the parents were going to come out and just get really upset, call the police. We were going to have this drawn out kind of like, oh, this homeless man's coming to our house. But no, none of that happens. He literally just goes to the house, sits down, talks to the kid, and leaves.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, it's wild, but I can believe that this would happen.
Yeah, I agree.
And there are little moments like this in the film.
Yeah.
Where, surprises you.
This movie was clearly funded by Big Persimmon.
The butcher was another one that I think got me. He was hanging out, and they were I don't remember if it was the Amir. I think it was Amir maybe that was in there. But with the butcher, and I swear
Butcher
he
Joe.
was selling him truffles, which I was a little confused what a butcher would do with truffles, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was another like scene.
Yeah, they treat truffles like drugs in this movie almost.
I did. I actually made a note of that too. I was like, is he selling truffles or cocaine? I'm not really sure.
But I believe this movie is based off of a book or some kind of work or documentary about truffle hunters in the region. Mm-hmm. So there are elements of truth to it, I believe.
Yeah.
Do you think
probably not the Fight Club?
Well, maybe. I would believe more that there would be like a market for that than there would be for like a real Fight Club, truthfully. Because I guarantee there are people that would throw down money to just beat the crap out of somebody and like let their frustrations out. I would take that over getting punched any day.
I guarantee that there is a market out there for restaurant workers that just want to beat the fuck out of Yelp reviewers.
But why do they, instead of the 2020s, they dress like they're from the 1920s? Do you notice that?
Yeah,
because it's Portland.
That's true.
It.
That is a common theme there.
Underground hipster fight club. I thought that would just be a lot of hugging and stuff.
Well, that's why they do all the hugging above ground, so they need somewhere to let all the rage out.
Oh, and it's sad when you think about Portland today with the rioting and all the hatred happening.
Yeah.
You know what? I think Portland needs this movie.
That's because the underground fight clubs have risen to the surface.
Yeah. They've gotten too popular.
Yeah.
Something I didn't get was the audiobook in Amir's car. He's listening to like this dude talk about classical music.
Uh-huh.
And you hear that a few times in a couple scenes. You know, Nick Cage turns it off, and then Amir would turn it back on, and I just thought, what is the meaning behind this? That he's trying... He has no... Maybe it's that Amir has no implicit, inherent interest in classical music, but by listening to someone explain how and why classical music is superior to all other forms of music, you know, it makes him feel elitist.
He makes a note early on, right? That his him in the city, it's all about his appearance. Like his life is all about his appearance. It's about what people think about him. So like everything he does, what he drives, where he goes, it's all meant to meet an image, kind of like you.
That's right.
That's right.
And I love how Nick Cage's response to that is kind of like you. He's like, well, fucking tidal wave's going to hit us eventually, and it's just going to bury this entire planet, so let's just make love.
I basically typed out like that entire conversation and in like this mini version. It's like, hey, can you take me out to lunch? Yeah, my parents hated each other and they went to your restaurant. You disappeared and my mom killed herself. Yeah, well, there's a massive earthquake coming that'll destroy the city, and if they destroy that, then a tsunami will finish them off.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Nick Cage gave that same spiel to the little boy at the house? Yeah. What that scene would have been like? Maybe next time you'll put a persimmon tree where it belongs.
Don't cut it down. They were the best.
Where do we go from here? I mean, we can really just skip to... we find out Amir's dad was in possession of the pig, but he's not going to give any info. He wants to pay off Robin, and Robin wants none of that. So we get this really satisfying sequence, I thought, where Robin and Amir together recreate the meal that he served to Amir's parents back when. Yeah,
first Cage goes to his house, right? And he asks him for the pig back, basically. Like there's this entire scene. He shows up there and it's like you found out I'm the mastermind behind it all along.
I love that's your interpretation. Yes.
Well, I mean that's kind of what it was. Like he finally tracked him down, but like all along it was like
it was me.
He was Driver's dad. And he's like, I want my pig back. And he's like, no. Cage's like, okay. So he just leaves. That's the beginning of section.
No, but I'll give you $20,000.
Yeah. So that's the end of the part 2, and then part 3 starts with the title "A Bird, a Bottle, and a Salted Baguette." And so that's the beginning of the quest for the ultimate meal.
Pig quest.
Yeah. And a big reveal, a big spoiler, is the part where Nick Cage kind of nonchalantly reveals that he didn't need the pig to find the truffles.
Yeah.
All along.
Yeah.
He relies on the trees.
Yeah.
And that the only reason he wants the pig back is because he loves the pig. And that was a cute pig.
Yeah.
By the way. And actually, some of the shots I noticed too, if you paused it just at the right moments, Nicolas Cage's face looks like a pig.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was on purpose. A cute pig, yeah. A cute, hairy, bloodied-faced pig.
So I'll be honest, it was fun for me at the time watching this because I've just come off of watching, for my own entertainment, I've been watching the Tales of Arcadia series on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's all about troll hunters and magicians and it's just it's a kids show basically, but it's a whole series of different shows that all kind of come together, all in King Arthur's. Well, it's supposed to be an offshoot of King Arthur's story, where like it's the legacy left behind by Merlin. Anyways, one of the episodes is a list left behind by Merlin of these abstract items that they have to find in order to take out the baddie or whatever. And it was so reminiscent of this, where he's like, all right, here's my list of things, and they go to these obscure places to try to find things. They're going to like a mortuary in order to find the wine.
Yeah.
So it was. I found that interesting, but I did have a question. The bakery where he went to get the baguette, the woman that he was talking to, they seemed so familiar, and what was it? His sister or a sister-in-law? Was it his daughter? I could not figure out what his relationship was.
I don't think it was a family member.
She seemed like it because she seemed to be intimate with his wife, in a way that almost seemed familial.
Yeah, I
couldn't tell if it was his sister-in-law or a daughter. It had to have been one of those two in my mind. But she seemed young enough to be a daughter, but
I see.
But not.
They had a three-way once.
Maybe, like an old babysitter or something.
Sean read the script.
Yeah.
It was the stepsister.
Yeah.
Wink.
Yeah. Great.
It's important to note that he does not fuck his pig.
That's true.
No, he does not.
He does not.
He explicitly states.
That is confirmed.
Yeah. Why didn't they put that in the trailer? That would have, man, people would have loved it.
I mean, that spoils the whole mystery.
Yeah.
He doesn't love his pig in that way.
No.
So Amir and Nick Cage, they pull a C.J. Roberts and they break into the house and cook him a meal, right?
Do you want me to leave that in there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Because then I have to explain who C.J. Roberts is / was.
Well, yeah, he used to break into my house, and he's the one that broke into my house and fixed my bed while my family was on vacation. And it was this
he broke into your house a few times. One time he broke into your house, and that was him, right? That released the crickets in your house.
Yep. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But we maybe we'll talk more about CJ in other episodes.
Well, we've brought him up before.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So they recreate this meal. They cook this meal with lots of tender love and care, and they convince Darius to eat the dinner they've prepared, and he just has this emotional reaction to it. He just breaks down, and he just looks up and he says, "Dude, they fucking killed your pig, sorry." And then Nick Cage has a cage out, but they took the sound out, so you can't really appreciate it because it's just, you just see it, the visceral reaction to.
Yeah. Which he did good. He did good. I was happy with his. I kind of expected. I wanted him. At this point, I knew he wasn't gonna, beat the crap out of the man, but I just wanted him to let some of that anger out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, strangle him, brand him,
Yeah.
torture him. You were waiting for that torture sequence.
I was,
where he
kind of.
grabs him and chains him to the back of Amir's car, which he's already vandalized, and then drives him down the highway to his hermit hut for a 20-minute torture sequence. That's what you expected, right?
That's what I was hoping for, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't get that. Sean, would that have made the movie better for you in some ways?
I mean, I think they needed to just give us the pig lovin' that we all were expecting.
Yeah, but this isn't the Muppets.
You know...
The Muppets, the movie. The Muppets take over Portland.
I think another quote we should talk about is from the review of one Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
He just says, I think I just got to type.
So from here, take Cage and Amir, hop in the car, they head down to a diner.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bit of a good moment at this one, right? So Nick's completely out of it. There's like a 10-minute sequence where they just recorded his hair from the back of the car.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was a good scene. I liked that. But they show up at the diner, right? And Nick's kind of out of it, and like she's listing off all of these things, and he's like, "I just want some pie," and
yeah.
And, she lists off all the things. She goes, we don't have this, we don't have that, we have cheesecake. Yeah. And she's like, well, what are you thinking? And, like, it pans in on Nick's face, and he just looks, like, really dumbfounded and serious for a second. And, like, just, I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting for his response to be, cheesecake is a pie.
I dropped my mic. Laughing too hard. Yeah. That would be such a Portland comment.
Yeah. So I was kind of expecting it, but it didn't happen. I was like, oh man, that would have been perfect there. So note for the re-release of this movie. Yeah. Add that joke in.
You should have been one of the professional consultants. One of the producers.
Yeah, there would have been a lot more action.
Yeah, so that's the end, folks. I mean, the pig is dead, and Robin is, well, how should I put it?
He leaves the diner. He offers to walk home. He's, his last lines were, I think I'm gonna walk home. I hear there's a biker gang off in the woods that needs to learn its place, and maybe, just maybe, there's some robots posing as animals that need to learn as well.
Willies?
That's right.
Well, seriously, though, I was worried that this movie was going to end with him killing himself.
Yeah.
That was like, please don't go that dark. We've already had one suicide in this movie. And I'm glad it didn't. It actually kind of has a light at the end of the tunnel kind of ending. I felt like, because he was able to listen to the cassette tape with his deceased wife's song. Mm-hmm. And her song then plays through the ending credits. And it's a really nice song. And so, the message at the end of the movie is now Robin is beginning to heal. That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get that pig back, baby. No pig back. So if you're watching that movie for the pig, you're only getting that pig in the beginning.
That's true.
You ain't seeing it anywhere else.
Just a little bit of pig.
I was kind of surprised at the lack of pig in this movie called Pig.
Totally. Yeah. And you can't say that Nick is...
I guess we never really noted that the third part, the bird, the bottle, and the salted baguette was the meal that he cooked for the wife. It was a chicken, a bottle of I don't know, some fancy wine that Nick still had in his personal collection, and then the salted baguette from whoever the baker was.
Yeah,
who might have even just been a previous employee for all I know. But they just seemed very close, and I guess Nick did seem to have a very strong attachment to the people that he worked with and that he was around and that he worked or knew.
You get the real sense that he was like a prodigy. He was like a next level. He would be yelling at. He would be the one yelling at what's his name, the guy that's always yelling at people.
Gordon Freeman.
He would be the one yelling at Gordon Ramsay.
Ramsay, that's
Gordon-
it, not Freeman.
Not Freeman, not Gordon Freeman. That was a Half-Life.
Yeah. Half-Life 3 confirmed.
There it is, folks. Yeah, that's Pig. Do we have any production notes, behind the scenes, anything you guys found that you want to talk about?
The meth recipe that they used on set actually had the truffles in it
What?
for the tweakers.
For the tweakers.
I don't know whether to believe you or not. They made meth behind the scenes?
No, they made
On
meth
set?
on set.
Yeah. Have you never been to a film
No.
set?
No. I haven't. Not this big budget. I mean, I've been to the one where it's just two people who love each other a lot.
You mean Avatar?
So, actually, shooting this entire movie only took 20 days. Because
20 days of Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage's funk.
Yeah, because of the budget was so small, they couldn't afford any retrakes. They couldn't afford a trained pig.
Yeah.
So that's why
Wow,
Nick had to find all the truffles, was because they couldn't afford a real truffle pig.
Hey, I was impressed with the movie, given how quickly they shot it, and on that small budget.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
What do you think, Oscar nom?
I think maybe. I think it's pretty close.
So this goes back to my thing. Nearly 1 hour was cut from the movie in editing.
Oh, so there is some backstory probably that's in there.
The original cut was apparently over 2 hours long.
Maybe we'll get a director's cut.
Maybe that would
Maybe
be
we'll
nice.
get more pig.
Yeah,
It was him fucking the pig, wasn't it?
and apparently
He didn't do it, Sean.
I didn't fuck the pig.
He was very defensive about that.
That was the one reshoot they did.
Yeah.
Put that
Well, he had
scene in
another
there.
pig. He had another pig for that. That's why he was offended.
Yeah.
You don't use your truffle pig for that.
Yeah, it was a silicone pig. I heard they're gonna do a crossover between Pig and Sex and the City.
Ooh.
Is it Sex and the Pig or Pig in the City?
I think all I'll say is Sarah Jessica Parker may have a taste for bacon
Yeah.
coming up.
I didn't want to say anything too mean, but there are those memes that say she looks like a horse. So I was gonna try to do a horse and pig thing, but then I'm like, she doesn't really look that much like a horse. That's just dumb.
Yeah, I mean,
She doesn't even have a tail.
So I do have one last trivia on
She might
this
have a
movie.
saddle though. Okay.
hey, I mean, no kink shaming.
No.
The cage, or the pig apparently bit Nicolas Cage numerous times during the filming of this movie.
Oh.
After one nasty bite, Cage
Yeah.
joked, I've been set on fire, I've been flipped in cars, but it'll be sepsis from a pig bite that kills me.
Oh no. I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Well, clearly he's lived through it and moved on to new movies.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll get more animals with Cage. Nibble,
Yeah.
but obviously not
Nibbler.
Tiger King.
That's right.
I heard they're looking for a new Dr. Doolittle.
Already?
Last one didn't do too well.
Yeah. I mean, when Iron Man is your Doolittle. Alright, well, that's Pig for y'all. Those are our opinions of this movie that I totally think you should watch.
I'll second
It's available now. But what's next for us? Yeah, we've got a cage fight coming up. Soon we're going to be recording City of Angels versus Leaving Las Vegas. And as we all know, Leaving Las Vegas is Nick Cage's Oscar Award win. So we expect some, Pig level or better acting, if you ask me. I mean, it's got to be pretty hot.
Yeah.
And then City of Angels, is that Portland?
I think
just
that's
kidding.
Mexico City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Beyond that, I know we have our season 3 Cage fight coming up before too long. But have we locked in a Cage Lord for season 3 yet?
No, we haven't.
So if any of our listeners out there feel that they would be a viable Cage Lord for us for season 3, please feel free to send us a message on Facebook or a tweet, or you can email us at latenightcagefight@gmail.com and let us know why you think you would make a good Cage Lord.
I like that. Let's do some interviews.
Yeah.
Pick the right Cage Lord for the Golden Age of Cage match.
That's right.
That's tight, yeah. And then after this next one, City of Angels versus Leaving Las Vegas, we're going to have, probably Con Air versus Face Off.
That's right.
Oh, that's going to be a wild battle, everybody. Make sure to tune in.
That's right.
On your tuner.
And if you are interested, we might if you meet the last round of interviews, if we've got some tough decisions to make for our final Cage Lord, you might be brought into some of that episode.
Well, Sean, any final thoughts on life?
All I'm saying is that if Cage found his pig, Taliban would still be in their trenches.
Another hot take from one of our cage fighters? Oh, jeez. Well, this was quite a discussion, fellas. Thank you for watching this brand new movie featuring the universe's finest Nicolas Cage. I really enjoyed hearing both of your opinions, and I'm glad that we were able to kind of hash out our differences with this movie. I do think that it would stand quite a chance in the long run, the long haul of the Cage battle, but time will tell, of course. We've got a lot more coming your way. Of course, check out our Cage List series. We are watching movies without Cage, sadly, that Cage should have been a part of. We hope to have even more content coming in the near future. Yeah, and our website, nickcagefight.com. We're on Twitter. We are very active on Facebook. Find us, and maybe you can be our next Cage Lord. Thank you for listening to Late Night Cage Fight, and we'll catch you next time. Cage out.
Cage out.